The Jamaica Stock Exchange just launched their new private market. But how is it different from the regular stock exchange, and how does it affect you and your money? I'm Kalila Reynolds, and it's time for another episode of Money Mondays JA, brought to you by Proven Wealth. Before we get started, don't forget to like this video, subscribe to this channel, and click the bell icon so you can be notified whenever there's a new video. Also subscribe to my newsletter at KalilaReynolds.com, where you can read a full transcript of this episode. You can click the link up here or in the description box below. Well, the Jamaica Stock Exchange may have finished the year as one of the worst performing stock exchanges of 2020. But the JSE's got big plans to turn things around in 2021. Managing Director of the JSE, Marlene Street Forest, was a guest on Taking Stock recently and announced the exchange's plans to launch a platform that would help certain investors participate in the private market. Private market? What are you talking about, Kalila? So, most of us are familiar with the public market, the stock exchange, being able to buy and sell shares in a publicly listed company, while the private market is kind of the opposite. First, you have to understand the difference between a private and a public company. There are a couple of differences, but one of the main ones is the ease of access to capital and selling shares. Now, once a company is publicly listed on a stock exchange, members of the public can own a stake in it by buying shares. This in turn gives the company more cash to help with day-to-day operations or expansion or whatever they need money for. Private companies, though, are not listed on a stock exchange and don't have this option of fundraising because their shares aren't available for the public to buy. Those who are qualified to buy or sell shares in a private company are referred to as accredited investors. Accredited investors can be individuals or institutions such as banks or pension funds. To be an accredited investor, the individual or institution must meet specific income and net worth guidelines. In other words, your money have it tall. So many companies start out as private and then become listed on a public stock exchange, usually to raise funds. Private investments are also less regulated than public ones and usually come with higher risks. Companies listed on the JSE are required to file quarterly financial reports and post updates on management changes and so on. Private companies are not obligated to do this. While the public disclosure requirements can be a drawback of being a public company, the transparency provides peace of mind for investors. So the private market is simply a space where accredited investors can buy or sell shares in private companies. They can also participate in bonds offered by these companies and other private deals. According to the JSE's managing director, the private market, which was launched on January 11, aims to improve transparency and ease of participation in these private transactions.
If the bonds are raised, the capital is raised privately as against what we have as a public market, the companies can list these issues. And when the companies list these issues, they'll be traded on the market for persons within the private market designation. Institutional investors, those high net worth investors, those investors that are what is called sophisticated investors and who have invested in these instruments privately, they can trade.
So that wouldn't be open for the public? That
everybody, no.
So
yes, it would be those.
How does it work? By invitation or?
It would be those who had participated, Kalila, originally in that issue. So if you were based on the criteria, you qualified to participate in that bond issue on the private space, then you would be a shareholder in that security. And as such, you and the others like you who participated could now have a transparent means on the secondary market of transferring, should you wish to sell or should you wish to buy those securities. So
Now, unless you're an accredited investor, someone of high net worth, you won't be able to participate in trades on the private market, but this is still a significant step by the JSE. Increased transparency in the private market will help boost trust in companies, and new initiatives like this help to increase the JSE's popularity and sustainability. Well, that's it for this episode of Money Mondays JA, brought to you by Proven Wealth. Follow them on social media at We Are Proven. Now, here's what's coming up on Taking Stock.
It was a rough year for Palace Amusement as the entertainment industry was hit hard by the COVID-19 pandemic. The Jamaica Stock Exchange reported just how hard hit Palace was in their yearly analysis. The theatre's stock plummeted by 55%. We'll speak to marketing manager and director of Palace Amusement, Melanie Graham, on the company's plan to pivot. And later, the analysts weigh in on the latest market developments. Consumer and business confidence is up for the first time in 4 quarters, and Netflix has added 8.5 million users in its 4th quarter, blowing away estimates. We'll discuss.
I'm Kalila Reynolds. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to like this video, subscribe to this channel, and click the bell icon so you can be notified whenever there's a new video. Also subscribe to my newsletter at KalilaReynolds.com, where you can read a full transcript of this episode.